In this video, we're going to ask the question, has Michigan football's Ohio pipeline dried up under Jimmy? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Dr. Anwar Youssef Dunbar, and this is Big Discussions 76 Sports. First of all, please like the video, please share it, and please subscribe to my channel. So the title of this video and the question of this video is, has Michigan football's Ohio pipeline dried up under Jimmy? So with it being the off season, I often wonder what topics I should talk about and what topics I should cover. And well, before I get into that, I once again want to thank everyone who has liked the videos, everyone who has watched, everyone who has shared, and also everyone who has subscribed. And this channel is growing. It seems to be growing faster than my original channel. And I think that's a testament to how passionate the Michigan fan base is, even when our team isn't where we want it to be as it is right now. So topics. So in the off season, I've wondered, okay, what should I talk about? What should I cover? And as I mentioned in one of the previous videos, my new smartphone is giving me Michigan articles every day. And sometimes I get ideas, when I'm going through my workday, and sometimes I'm getting ideas when I'm at the gym. But some ideas actually come from the subscribers. And so I want to shout out Chad Bailey 30, who in the comments section pointed out that Jim is not getting any of the good Ohio football players to come to the Michigan football program. And, I never thought about that. And he said no one's talking about it, and I haven't really heard much talk about it myself. But I decided that it would be worthwhile to make a video about this and even to do some research on it. And so after doing some quick research, yes, I can confirm that Jim hasn't really gotten any of the heavy hitters or any of the really, really great players of note from the state of Ohio, and there are probably reasons for that. But let's talk about that, and let's start with why that's significant. Well, states like Florida and Texas and California, those states are known as, or have been categorized as, football factories. And so, you can throw Ohio in there as well, because they play some damn good high school football in Ohio, and it's very much a breeding ground for Division I college football prospects. And so, as maligned as Coach Lloyd Carr was, and Coach was the football coach my entire time as a graduate student at the University of Michigan. I actually liked Lloyd. A lot of folks didn't, but Lloyd had his fair share of stud football players from the state of Ohio. Two that quickly came to mind when I was thinking about shooting this video were Charles Woodson and Mario Manningham. And so I did some research, and when I looked back at the 1997 national championship team, the 1997 national championship team, on the roster you also had Marcus Ray, who made a huge impact that year for that defense, which was a strong and aggressive defense, and that was part of the reason they won the national title. Before them, Coach Gary Moeller, or Coach Mo, had Desmond Howard, who I believe was a part of one of Bo Schembechler's last recruiting classes. Desmond had that historic punt return against Ohio, and Desmond won the Heisman Trophy. In addition to Charles Woodson, won it after him. These were players from Ohio. On the 1999 Tom Brady led team, when I was my first year of graduate school, there were numerous freshmen on that team from the state of Ohio who would go on to log significant minutes for Lloyd Carr. Their sophomore, junior, and senior years. On the 2006 team, that was the team led by Chad Henne and Michael Hart, and Lamar Woodley and those guys, Alan Branch. That team was ranked in the top 5 for that entire season, and had they beaten Ohio State, they would have gotten into the BCS title game. 3 of the players from Ohio that stand out to me when I looked at the roster were Prescott Burgess, Willis Behringer, and Sean Crable. And those last two, the argument could be made that those last two affected that Ohio State game, but in different ways. Willis Behringer went out with an injury early, and had he played for the entirety of that game, that might have impacted our ability to defense, Troy Smith and that talented wide receiving core, and those 2 running backs that they had. And he went out early, and I think that was significant. Sean Crable got called for the targeting on Troy Smith when Troy Smith was running out of bounds. That was a controversial call, and that call gave them a first down, which either put the game out of reach in terms of killing the clock, or put them in position for another score. But that was a significant call. And those 3 players were from Ohio. Rich Rod recruited quite a few players from Ohio and got them. Among them were Courtney Avery, Fitzgerald Toussaint, Roy Roundtree, and I believe Roy Roundtree caught the game-winning touchdown in the Under the Lights game against Notre Dame. Jordan Kovacs, Jabril Black, Frank Clark, and Patrick Omame. Those are all Rich Rod guys. Those guys were all from Ohio. Some of Brady Hoke's recruits, and there were many from the state of Ohio: Joe Bolden, Ben Gideon, and Noah Furbush. Noah Furbush was on the 2018 team that was on the Revenge Tour and got blasted down in the Snake Pit. And then, in terms of players who were on the 2016 team who suffered that heartbreaking loss off the J.T. Barrett first down, players on that team who were coached by Brady Hoke, who were recruited by Brady Hoke, but coached up by Jim. Players included Chris Wormley, Davion Smith, Jake Butt, Mike McCray, and Kyle Kalis. So those were all Brady Hoke kids. And again, I would argue that that was Jim's best opportunity thus far to win that game. But many of the playmakers were not his recruits. Those were Brady Hoke recruits. I did take a look at Jimmy's rosters starting from 2015 forward, and I tried to find the non-Brady Hoke recruits, and I saw players from Ohio on Jimmy's rosters, but I couldn't look at any of the names to say, okay, that kid is a playmaker, that kid has left his mark on the program, and that kid is positioning himself to be an NFL prospect. So Jimmy is getting kids from Ohio, and he's got kids from Ohio, but they don't seem to have been the playmakers, the ones who would be the difference makers, the ones who would push the program up into elite status, which is very, very interesting. And that suggests that you might ask why either Jimmy hasn't formed solid relationships with the high school coaches there, either he just hasn't been able to recruit there, maybe he's been that focused on the South and the West, or maybe toward the end of Brady Hoke's tenure, maybe Urban Meyer just slammed the door shut on Ohio so that the Michigan program couldn't get down there and get any of the playmakers. But it's interesting because historically, that's been a part of the formula. That's been a part of the Michigan formula. I was going to say it's been a recipe for success, but Rich Rod and Brady were only marginally successful. But Lloyd Carr, Gary Moeller, and Brady Hoke, Lloyd Carr, Gary Moeller, and Bo Schembechler, they were able to recruit playmakers and the difference makers out of the state of Ohio. They may not have been able to get a lot on one roster at a time, but they were able to get some of the difference makers out of there to come and play for the Maize and Blue. Desmond Howard, Charles Woodson, Marcus Ray, and Mario Manningham. And those are just the players in my era that I know of. I'm sure Bo got quite a few during his many years as the head coach of the Michigan football program. And I'm going to close this video by saying that getting players from Ohio and getting good players from Ohio isn't necessarily the cure-all for our Michigan football program. The argument could be made that there are other things ailing it. And when you look at football programs from the Power 5 conferences, you see that the rosters are made up from players from all around the country. I mean, teams might recruit locally quite a bit, but they also pull players from other regions of the country. But in terms of region, they also do pull players from their region as well. And for Michigan to not get any of the playmakers from Ohio in recent years under Jimmy's tenure, I think that's very, very significant. So I'm going to stop this video here. Once again, I want to send a shout out to Chad Bailey 30. Please leave any comments in the comments section below. And if there are any suggestions for future content, please leave those in the comment section below, or shoot me an email at the email address that's on the credit slide at the front and the end of this video. So with that, I'm going to stop this video. Please like it, please share it, and please subscribe to my channel. Go Blue, and always remember that your attitude determines your altitude. Take care, and I'll talk to you the next time. Bye-bye.